What's going on, everybody? My name is My name is Matt, and welcome back to Controlled Chaos Gaming. Today's video is going to be a recap of my run at the Las Vegas Regionals this past weekend. I, of course, played the Joltik box deck that you see right here, and it's only one card different from the last video that I posted on the list. In there, I had the Team Rocket's Petrol for kind of like a 5th Arvin at the beginning of the game, or Search for the Gravity Mountain mid to late game. But I decided for specifically the Goldango matchup that the 4th Crispin was necessary for getting a bunch of energies on my Pikachu, and then having Power Glass on there so that I was always just one Crispin away every single time I needed to attack with the Pikachu. So I'm not going to go too much into detail about the list. You can check out all of my other videos on it. It's very, very similar, just one card off like I mentioned. But before we go ahead and get into the run for the main event, I'd like to give a huge shout out to our sponsors at Kayfabe Cards.
Head on over to Kayfabe Cards in Riverton, Utah for all things tabletop. This store is home to Pokemon, One Piece, Flesh and Blood, and more, selling both singles and sealed product in-store and online. You'll find their massive assortment of Pokemon plushies, sleeves, deck boxes, and other staple products. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to Kayfabe Cards. We'll see you there.
Alright, going into round 1 here, I played against Charizard Pidgeot. Game 1, I won the coin flip. I got to go second. He opened Klefki, so I was like, this is not great. But since he had to go first, he got a bunch of Pokemon on the bench with the Klefki in the active. But my hand was actually good enough to where I was able to pull off. I don't think I got a Miraidon down game 1, but I was able to get my Joltik, because I think that was what I started, and then like an Iron Hands and then something else on the board, so that I could set up my Iron Hands around the Klefki. And since I was able to get set up and I went second, I was able to take that one. And it was really close because he was playing Max Belt. Fortunately, he was not able to get it out there. Game 2, I had to go first. His setup was really, really strong, and mine was also just fine, but it wasn't as good as his, and he was able to take game 2. And then game 3, he was able to retreat into the Klefki again. We were also able to get around it again, which was very nice. There got to a moment when I didn't have a ton of energies on board outside of Iron Hands, and it was Bravery Charmed. He needed to find Max Belt off of, like, I think it was either an Iono or a Lily, a Fez draw, and he whiffed all of his outs to getting to Max Belt, so we were able to take it there. Because like the next turn after that, he top ticked the town store. So unfortunate for him, but we got to start off with a win there. Then in round 2, we hit Terrabox. They did not have the greatest start ever. They had Ditto, they started Ditto, got the Fan Rotom out, but the only Terra in their hand was Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. And the reason why that's really good for us is because we can amp it, because it's weak to lightning, to take 3 prize cards. And the reason that that's important is because most of these lists, including this one, play the Briar. So they're able to take an early knockout on Joltik, and then they can do things like Counter Catcher, anything that's not Pikachu up, take prizes 2 and 3, and then close with like a Briar to take their last 3. So that way that early knockout on Joltik actually puts them in a good prize trade. Game 1, yeah, they had to bench the Wellspring. In Game 2, they opened Ditto again, and their only Terra was also Wellspring, the second game. So we were able to take it there. It was a very quick set. Round 3 against Gardevoir Drifloon. Game 1 was really, really unfortunate. I was in a very favorable position. I was up by a turn or 2. So normally I'm used to taking, 2 prizes at a time. So I'm going down to 4, then 2, and then I win the game. So in this game, I had to Tool Scrapper the Drifloon. So I went down to 1 prize card. And then when they Iono'd me, I drew 2 cards. So I got DPL'd, and then they were just able to Psychic Embrace to the active and knock me out. So that was really unfortunate. Game 2, I went second, set up super well, and game went exactly as I would hoped. And then game 3, I had to go first, which is a little bit tough. In the matchup, you always want to go second, because if they pull off the Evo play, get a couple Curlias out, they're going to hit the ground running. Sure enough, that's exactly what happened. They set up very well and took game 3. So because of my brain fart, that probably cost me this entire set. So definitely something to take away there is just to play much cleaner and pay attention to the board state, because that was really unfortunate. Round 4, we hit Poltnor. Very, very scary matchup. Game 1, they open Blood Moon, and by turn 2, they only had one Dracloak out. So we were just able to boss spam the Dracloak, and they could never get a Dragapult out. Game 2, they opened Pheasantipity, and turn 2, they got one Dracloak out. So that was a big relief, because Poltnor, again, very tough matchup, but we got there because my opponent did not draw super well. Round 5, we went up against Goldango, but this one had Lucario, the Mega Lucario in there, which notably, all of my Pokemon are weak to fighting. So game 1, they opened the Riolu and attached to it, got their bench ready. So my game plan was to set up Mew so that I could use their second attack to actually hit their own Lucario for weakness. So I had Jolting Charge 2 onto the Mew and 2 onto the Pikachu. And then turn 2, they go Attach, Ultra Ball, Boss. And yeah, not great. Game 2, feeling a little bit better about my setup. They were able to get Lucario out. I forget how early. It was still pretty early. But I knew that they were like running low on Gust. They had already used 1 or 2 Boss, and they had like a 2-card hand. So I actually used Topaz Bolt into the Lucario to do 300 damage, because I think it had just used Mega Brave, if I recall correctly. And the next turn, it ended up staying in the active spot, because they just did the Aura Jab to put my Pikachu at 190. Then I was able to go retreat into Iron Hands and amp for 4 prize cards. So felt like I was in a really good position there. Their hand was lacking, and they didn't have a bunch of energies in the discard. I think that made it so they had 2 fighting in the discard because their start was slow. And then they do their thing, they draw a bunch of cards, and they somehow got all 7 energies that they needed to knock out my Bravery Charmed Iron Hands. So safe to say, round 5, I got completely bodied. That was very unfortunate. But shout out to my opponent, Wyatt. Really good day 2 run for them. So round 6, I hit Luke Smith on Ceruledge. So I recognized the name when I looked at my pairings. So when we went to sit down, I asked, I was like, hey, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but were you the player that got disqualified recently and ASIM for sleeve issues? And he was like, yep, that was me. And then we like talked about like what had happened and stuff like that. And he was a really good sport about it, like making jokes back and forth. He was a really fun opponent to play. Ceruledge is a pretty favored matchup here, but I know that he just got ASIM with the deck. He's probably going to play it super well, and he had a very, very creative build. It had 4 Jets and a Brilliant Blender as the ace spec, and in both games, going first, he got 10 energy in the discard pile on turn 1. So it was super, super impressive there. There were 3 bosses orders in the list. Game 1, I was just able to go in with the Pikachus how I needed to, and without Legacy Energy, he couldn't really throw off the prize trade. But I knew that my tools, like my Bravery Charms and my Iron Hands, were kind of useless because he was just going to hit the 280 whenever he wanted. But I can't remember exactly how Game 1 ended, but we got there. So before Game 2, a couple judges come up and they perform a random deck check. But since him and I were talking about like the sleeve issues and him getting disqualified from a tournament, we're like, yeah, I don't know about this being so random, but yeah, we were just joking back and forth. And then we wait, they come back, and we're both good to go. So Game 2, I can't exactly remember how it's set up. It's set up the same for him, kind of the same for me. But the end game was the most interesting part because he got ahead in the prize trade. So what I needed to do was sit behind a Pikachu for a turn because he had to use an early Pal Pad before he used Squawk and Seize. And he was down all 3 of his boss. So what I did after he knocked out my Pikachu to go down to, I think it was 1 prize card, I went Super Rod for that Pikachu because 2 Pikachus were down, send the energies back, and then because I Arven for Super Rod and Power Glass, then I used Tandem Unit to get the Pikachu back, and then I went attach return, attach power glass, retreat, and pass, and then I was able to attach an energy from the discard back onto the Pikachu, and he was out of boss's orders, so he just had to swing, and then I was just able to go energy boss because he hit me with like a soul rock, and we were able to take it there. So 2-0 win there. We are at 4-2. Next round is basically our winning in if we chose to like ID the last round. So we hit our first Absol Kangaskhan of the day. My opponent going in was 3-0-3, so I knew that they were going to be playing a pretty grindy deck, whether it be Gardevoir, Dragapult, Absol, and I'm sure there's a couple others as well. So he flips over Yveltal, and the deck list decision that I made before the tournament was that I was going to have a more greedy list, because most of the other Joltics were running 3 switch outs. So they had Switch, Iron Leaves, and Prime Catcher. But since all those other lists that were doing well ran the Switch, I just hoped that my opponent, even if they had the clutch lock strategy, would just assume I was running the 3rd Switch and not go for it early. That deck list error, I would say, on my part, ended up costing me this one. So it was a really long, slow, and grindy game 1. I was out of switch outs. I was just hoping that I benched Latias as well. I couldn't exactly remember what I could have done to prevent benching Latias. I think I needed it on one of the turns to pull off Jolting Charge early. But benching that ended up costing me the game, because what they can do is they can use Pecharunt to push their Yveltal to the active and poison it. So then they're marking a whole bunch of damage while being able to move the damage off of their Yveltal with their Monkey Dory after they swing like a time or two with Absol or Kangaskhan, whatever they want to go for. So that was really unfortunate. I stuck that one out. I probably should have scooped it just a little bit sooner. But I thought I could be in a winning position once they knock out my Latias, only to realize what they were trying to do to take their last 4 was just knock it out with or between turns with Monkey Dory and then boss for game. So I didn't make that read early enough, so I stuck it out to see if they were going to make the wrong play, because they didn't really understand the matchup. Like, they set up Absol. I went Iron Leaves on it, but that was one of my switch outs. So and then when they had game on board, it took them a while to figure it out, because I know they'd whiff boss for a turn or two, and it was the last one in their deck. And then they had found it, and they were determining what to use boss on. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna stick this out. I'm not just gonna scoop right away. And then they did pick the right target, and we're like, oh, that's right, yeah, I have it. So that was like a 35-minute game 1. So I'm stressed, I'm panicking. I'm like, if I can work a tie out of this, I can just get to my winning in next round. And I prized Tool Scrapper. I prized Iron Leaves. I couldn't find Prime Catcher for multiple turns. I started Mew, so they just went Gust Lock because they knew that they were gonna be able to stall out the clock. And yeah, that one hurt a lot. So that's on me for the decklist error, maybe not scooping sooner. So that was our winning in. So we are out of day 2 contention. But of course, we're gonna finish it out, see if we can get a positive record, get some points. I thought there was gonna be a chance for top 512. There's about 550 players in day 2, so that wasn't happening either way. But I ended up hitting somebody I actually follow on Twitter, Max, and him and I have talked about like Joltik before for preparing for tournaments. So as soon as I sat down, he knew kind of what I was playing. So I was like, he kind of knows most of my 60. But he was also playing Terrabox, and he had 2 pretty slow games, unfortunately. I think game 1, I prized double Miraidon, and I just didn't have anything going, and he was starting to go in with like Clefairy and things like that, because I had a Bravery Charmed Iron Hands that I was like manually attaching to, I think it was. But eventually I got the Miraidon off the prize cards, I went into Jolting Charge, set up a couple Pikachus, and we were able to take advantage of his slow start. And game 2 was more of the same, and he had to get Wellspring down as his only Terra, was able to amp it for 3, avoid Briar, and we got the 2-0 victory there. So we did finish 556th place, But again, there was no chance to get into the top 512. So we got 20 championship points. I guess that's something. Definitely disappointed I didn't make day 2. All of these matchups that I hit, other than the Lucario tech necessarily in Goldango, I prepared for. I was extremely proud of the way I prepared for this tournament. I didn't feel like there was anything that caught me by surprise. And sure enough, my run was like just about one of everything that I had tested against. The only deck that I doubled down on was Terrabox, and that one I actually didn't specifically test games against, but I theorized it in my head. Because I can go for like the Terrapagos for the second attack to stop basics from attacking it, but like things like Galvantula EX can get in there, and then Ursa Luna at the end of the game, plus you can just gust around it. So I felt very prepared for this. Just unfortunate that it didn't work out for me, but again, human error on my part in rounds 3 and round 7 with the deck building. I definitely needed to clean that up a bit. But I do want to give a big shout out to Cam. We had been talking about Joltik Box before Portland Regionals, and he made his first day 2 at this event with somewhat similar Joltik Box list to mine, but he had his own home cooking in there, and it was awesome to see him in day 2, and he finished in the top 512. And then the other 2 CCG members, Bill went 3-4 drop, unfortunately, with Gardevoir, and Caden finished 4-4 with Saraledge. But now we're going to go ahead and hop into the recap of the Cup on Sunday. So this tournament had a total of 232 Masters. Everyone kind of knew going in that 502 is going to make it, 502 or better, and then 501 is probably going to be a bubble. But and I went in like I wanted to make it my goal to make top cut to make up for yesterday. So round 1 we hit Goldango. We hit a lot of Goldangos in this tournament, especially in the early rounds. So I can't remember exactly how this one played out. Oh, that's right. Oh no, that was round 2. Never mind. So round 1, just got the Iron Hands, and Pikachu. I think he mismanaged his math on one of the Make It Rain, so he missed a knockout, and then I was just able to win the prize trade from there. Round 2, I prized double Joltik and Galvantula. So I was like, this is bad, but since I have 4 Crispin, I was like, maybe I have a chance to set up Pikachu if he makes a mistake and doesn't make the read that I prized double Joltik and evolves a Goldango early. Sure enough, I was lucky enough that he did start evolving Goldangos early, and then I was able to take a couple prizes with my Pikachu, got one of the Joltiks off the prize cards, able to get into like a Jolting Charge play at some point, and then take it from there. So round 3, I hit Raging Bolt. Not a fun matchup. I open Iron Hands, no way to move it, no way to get Jolting Charge into the active, and I whiffed it. So I was like, okay, I'm down pretty bad if they go for the Slitherwing route or have like a Gust knockout, but her hand was super rough, so I was able to buy a couple of turns from there, eventually get the Jolting Charge off, set up my board like I needed to with the Pikachus, and she never got Slitherwing into play, so I'm not sure if she either prized it or didn't play it, or maybe didn't necessarily pick up that it goes through things like Pikachu's ability. So we squeaked away with the win there to start off 3-0. Round 4, I hit another Goldango, and I opened Joltik, and they opted second, and they got the turn 1 KO on my Joltik with Solrock, and because of that very turn there, they were able to win the prize trade, because next turn I have to go into Jolting Charge. My hand wasn't good enough to do what I did round 2, like when I prized double Joltik. So yeah, they were just able to win the prize trade. I messed up the order on this right here. Round 5 was not the buy. Round 5 was Guardy Jelly. They had a super slow start, did not draw very well. So I'm going in at 5-1. So I look at my resistance, and it's like incredibly good. I think my opponent with the worst record was 3-3. Everyone else was like 4-2 or 5-1. So I'm like, okay. I sat down with my opponent. I said, hey, I'm willing to consider IDing if you want to like take a look at the pairings. We're on table 3, And then 1 and 2, they're all 5-0 or 501, so they're just going to ID. And we know that if everyone IDs, 2 511s are going to bubble out. But both of our resistances were really good, so we took the risky ID. They were playing Absol. And, I'm looking at the list here. It says buy. That wasn't a buy. That was, I don't know why it didn't load. This was Saraledge. Round 5 was against Saraledge. I'll do this one real quickly. That makes more sense now. Okay, round 5 was not a buy. It was Saraledge. I opened Mew with nothing else, and I crisped into it and then passed. But they didn't get a chark at it down for like 2 turns. So eventually we were just able to set up and take that game. Then it was Guardy Jelly. Then it was the ID. I don't know why that got messed up there. Sorry about that. But so going in at 5-1-1, we did qualify for top 8. I was super excited. We were walking back from McDonald's when I saw the pairings go up. So like we're all just cruising, like, you know, we got time. They're gonna do the deck checks. Pairings go up and I have to run to get inside to make it on time. I swear I had to run for like a mile to get back on time, and I just barely made it. But this experience was actually really, really cool because this is the first time that they're testing the new rule where an ASIM or any kind of top cut, it's open Decklist. So they had printed out Decklist sheets, and they gave us like 90 seconds to review it. The person who made the rule was actually there explaining it to us because he wanted to get our questions, our comments, concerns, anything like that with the process so that he could work out the kinks. So it was really cool to be a part of that. I'm actually going to dig out real quick that sheet because they let me keep it after a top cut was over. My face cam is pretty small, so you're probably not going to get a very good look at this, but so at the top here, it's the text. It's a lot easier to see, and then at the bottom, it's the deck list like printed out. It's pretty blurry, but yeah, it's just cool to like be a part of this. And I asked them if I could take it home just for the memories. So yeah, very cool stuff. So we got 90 seconds to review our opponent's deck list, and then we could like set up and begin our game. It was 60 minutes, best of 3, and then I hit Saraledge in top 8. Wasn't sure what to expect with this because I know it's like a pretty solid matchup. Their list is pretty cookie cutter. It was Azul's list that he's been playing on YouTube. It didn't have the Carmines like Luke Smith's deck did from the main event, but it had the Professor's Research. It had 2 Boss, the Palpad, the Briar, the Turo, all sorts of stuff like that. This one also had a double jamming tower. I think that was like the one difference. It had 2 jamming towers, which can be pretty annoying. Game 1, he opts to go first. Like, I want to go second. He wants to go first. And he was just able to get a bunch of energy in the discard pile. My start wasn't the greatest. And then at turn 2, he just went boss on something and took the first 2. Was able to win the trade from there. I go to a game 2, and he has a pretty awkward start, I would say. And we're just able to take advantage of that. And then in game 3, so game 2, he prized double Saraledge and had to discard a stretcher early. That's how he got behind. So we were able to take that. And then game 3 was the one where he drew pretty slow. I think he just opened like Soul Rock or something and went attach pass. No energies in the discard, no Carmine, no Squawkabilly. And from there, we were just able to take over the game and win game 3. So I'm super excited. Not only did I make the goal of making top 8 in this nearly 250 player League Cup, but I even got to go to top 4. So top 4 was tragic. I'm not going to make the excuse that I was tired. I just had like the worst possible brain fart. Game 1, I had to go first. I lost the coin flip, but I was in a favorable enough position that I had 4 boss and 2 Pokegear in deck, Mew and Fez on board. I got the Ursaluna down, got the energy on it, so I got to draw up to 5 cards to find boss for game on their Fezandipity or their Clefairy that they started, and I whiffed. The top 5 cards, no Pokegear, no boss, all of them were in deck. and I lost. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So game 2, I get to go second. My setup's looking great. It's just fine. My hand is kind of like a bunch of energy, but I have the turn 1 jolting charge, and then I have like boss for next turn to start taking prize cards. I go in with Arven, and I know that Latias is prize. I have like it was Miraidon in the active, but I need to go grab Air Balloon to retreat and then use jolting charge. I didn't grab Air Balloon. I grabbed Bravery Charm instead. So I went Attach Pass. That was awful. I didn't like make it obvious that I misplayed. I made it look like I prized both Balloon and Latias. But yeah, Balloon was in the deck. Just had the biggest brain fart of all time. And because of that, it basically made it like I was going first, which is not great in the Gardevoir matchup. And I got stomped from there. So really unfortunate ending to my tournament, but I laughed it off. I was talking with a judge because he was walking me up to the prizing table, and he's like, dude, I love your deck, like it's super cool, and because he's been playing it as well, so that was a really fun conversation. He was curious about the Galvantula EX that he saw in there, and then he was like, man, that was so unfortunate that you prized everything to go into jolting charge. I'm like, nah, bro, I misplayed bad. Yeah, I lost myself that game, but top 4 at a 232 player League Cup at a regionals. That's a pretty sick accomplishment, and that netted me 7 championship points. So pretty cool way to get a little bit of championship points. I won 12 Destined Rivals booster packs and 300 side event tickets. And then with those, I just went and got 30 packs of Surging Sparks, and then I traded them in for some cash to help pay for the trip to Kayfabe. So that was super cool. So again, I'm really proud of the way I prepared for the tournament. Human error throughout the main event and the cup are what got to me. I think the deck was really, really good, other than a couple changes that I think I might make for either this format or even the Phantasmal Flames format. And I haven't looked much into that format, but I'll go ahead and pull up a deck list right now of the changes that I would make for upcoming tournaments. So here's the updated list that I would play for the rest of the Mega Evolutions format. There's a couple cards that I haven't included in here yet. So I've seen the Mega Mawile. That was actually made the top 8, and I think there was another one in top 32 as well. I do like the idea of that, because if you go down to 4 or to 2 prize cards after you've taken 4, it can hit for 320 damage. But I feel like it's pretty hard to set up late game because you need a Crispin and a Metal in your hand when you're just constantly getting Iono spam. So I haven't included that in this list yet, but it is a consideration. Another consideration is swapping the Galvantula EX for Baby Galvantula again. I've seen some things with like the new Mega Gengar and Zoroark. And with the Baby Galvantula against the Zoroark, since it hits it for weakness, you get to take the full amount of prize cards rather than the reduced amount. But I don't know how popular that deck's going to be, if it's like a meme or whatever. So for now, I'm going to stick to the Galvantula EX, along with the Tool Scrapper, because Cornerstones have gone back in to Absol Box. Huge congrats to Tordreklev for yet another major win, and with his OG, or pretty similar to it, Mega Absol Kangaskhan deck with the 2 Cornerstones in there, because that was originally what Galvantula and Tool Scrapper were in there for. So those are going to stick around for now. And then the other change that I did make was I cut the 4th Crispin for Iono. It turns out when you let Goldengo sit on a 20 card hand, they just have it. So yeah. I want to put the Iono in there just for hand disruption in general. It's also decent early game draw. If you don't have an Arven, but you Pokegear into an Iono, at least you get a fresh 6 cards. So got Iono back in the list now. And the other change was cutting the Air Balloon for the Switch, to have that 3rd switch out for any kind of retreat luck. I do feel it's necessary, especially since it cost me my winning in, and if Mega Absol is going to become more popular as well, that is a very good strategy that they can go for. Also prevents things like Soblock in the Terra Box matchup. Now, without Air Balloon, I've not played the deck without Air Balloon, because oftentimes, like turn 1, you can go Arven for Air Balloon and Nest Ball, but I do feel like a consistent amount of the time, you have like Arven plus Nest Ball in your hand already. So if you start your Blood Moon or you start your Iron Hands, they already can't move with an air balloon. Like, you need to have that Nest Ball or something else for Latias. But if that's not an option, you need to go get use your Nest Ball that's in your hand for like a Miraidon to use Tandem Unit. Then you can go ahead and Arven for Switch and your Bravery Charm and go from there. But I think that about covers everything. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to my Las Vegas Regionals run. I'm going to do my best to sign up for Wave 2 in Toronto Regionals. We'll see if I can make it. That's going to be in the Phantasmal Flames format. I'm hoping to get streams getting back up again. I've been having some issues with it crashing, so I'm going to see if I can get that working. But otherwise, please do look forward to the Las Vegas Regionals vlog coming up within the next week or two. If you have any questions about the list, feel free to leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. I want to give a huge shout out to every one of you who support us. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for us. So thank you guys so much for that. But that's going to do it for me. So I will see you guys in the next one.